was just having a conversation with a caregiver, and do you know what breaks my heart? It's when a caregiver tells me that their mom is so sweet with someone else, but she's cruel to them. And she said, "What am I doing wrong?" Well, she was doing nothing wrong and she was doing everything right. Has this happened to you where you've been patient, you've been kind, you've rearranged your whole life to help them? And yet, your loved one with dementia seems to save all their anger, their frustration, and their cruelty for you. When they're smiling at everyone else and they joke, but with you, the tone changes, the kindness sort of disappears, and it leaves you wondering, why me? And if you've ever asked yourself that in the middle of an outburst or a conversation, you're not alone, and this conversation is for you. I think this is one of the most painful parts about caring for someone with dementia that no one prepares you for. Your person, the one that you're pouring your heart into and caring for, can be absolutely lovely to the mailman, charming with the neighbors, great with your sister or brother. But with you, they resist care and they're downright mean. I'm Laura Wilkerson, nurse practitioner, and I've helped thousands of families just like you get through these battles of caring with someone with dementia. And today, we're going to talk about why this happens, what it really means, and most importantly, how to protect yourself while you're caring for your person with dementia. But first, I want to talk about why your person feels safe enough with you to show you their hardest emotions, how dementia changes the brain in ways that affect their behavior, and what you can do to navigate these moments with less pain and more understanding. Is you are your person's safe person. And I know that that might sound kind of backward to you, but oftentimes a person with dementia will be the meanest and cruelest to the person that they feel safe with. So their brain is confused and overwhelmed, and it vents this fear and frustration in your direction. And it certainly isn't fair and it's not easy, but it's because they trust you more than they trust themselves in that very moment. You're their anchor, so they test their feelings and frustrations against you. I mean, think about it for a second. When you are scared, confused, or frustrated, who do you take it out on? Do you take it out on the stranger at the grocery store or your mailman? No, you're actually saving that for your family member or your best friend. And you do it with the people that you trust the most, the people that you know are going to still be there tomorrow. Remember, your loved one's brain is changing, and the parts that help them regulate their emotions, recognize faces, and process information are damaged. But somewhere deep inside, they still know you're their safe person. They know that you're the one who won't abandon them. And I've had this conversation so many times with caregivers who feel broken because their person is worse with them. Remind them, just like I'm going to remind you, you're not feeling, you're succeeding because you've created such a foundation of safety that gives them permission to fall apart with you. Let's talk about what's really happening in their mind. Dementia doesn't just steal memories, it steals the ability to make sense of the world. Your person might look at you and feel this overwhelming sense of comfort, but they can't place you. And that's probably pretty terrifying for them. I mean, imagine waking up every day and this stranger who feels important to you, but you can't remember why they feel important to you. And at the same time, the stranger is telling you what to eat, what to wear, when to shower, what medications to take. And from their perspective, you might seem super controlling or very intrusive to them, even though you're just trying to keep them safe. Earlier today, I was working with a daughter who said, "My mom keeps accusing me of stealing from her, and she's sweet as pie to the cleaning lady." And here's the thing about the cleaning lady, that person only comes in for 2 to 3 hours and then she leaves. And you're the one that's there navigating the hard stuff. You're the one that's dealing with the medications, the doctor's appointments, and all of those daily changes that feel overwhelming to someone with dementia. And to them, their cruelty isn't personal, it's protective. It's their brain trying to make sense of all of this chaos. And sometimes you become their target simply because you're there. And here's the medical piece that helps this make sense. Dementia often affects the frontal lobe first, and that's the part of the brain that's responsible for emotional regulation, impulse control, and social filters, the parts that help us be polite, considerate, and kind to others. And so when your person is sweet to the mailman, it's because that interaction is brief and it doesn't require much emotional energy from them. You are the one asking them to do the hard things. Take the medicine that they don't understand, change the clothes that they think are clean, or leave a house that they think is actually theirs. Every single interaction with you requires emotional and cognitive energy they simply don't have anymore. What you're seeing isn't them acting out on purpose. It isn't a cognitive flaw. It's their brain in fatigue. Their brain just can't keep filtering information anymore. I tell caregivers all the time, you need to meet your person where they're at, not where you think that they should be. And when you start to understand that their brain literally cannot process these situations the way that it used to, their reactions start to make sense for you, and you can look for those patterns in their behaviors. Now, I know that understanding this doesn't make it any easier on your heart. I get that. So let's talk about how to protect yourself while you're caring for your person with dementia. I'd like for you to be able to create a certain amount of distance between their words and your worth. And when they say those cruel things to you, it's their brain that's broken talking, not them, not their heart. And I know what I'm saying is easier said than done, but I need you to keep practicing that with yourself. This is the disease, not my person. I'd like you to remember who they were before the dementia diagnosis. Keep photos around. Tell stories about the good times. This isn't about living in denial. It's about holding on to your whole person and not just the disease. And I want you to start looking for those small moments of connection. Because maybe in the moment they can't remember your name, but they can still reach for your hand and touch you for comfort. And maybe they're resistant to everything else, but when you put on their favorite song, they start to smile and they start to interact with you. And those moments can be real too. Listen, I know that caring for someone with dementia is one of the hardest things that you're ever going to have to do. And when that person that you're caring for seems to have their worst behavior for you, it can feel like you're doing everything wrong. But that cruelty isn't about you. It's about a brain that's trying to make sense of a world that no longer makes sense to them. And while that doesn't make it easier, I hope it helps you understand that you're not the problem, you're the solution. And if you're a caregiver who's been holding on to this hurt quietly by yourself, you're not alone. You're not imagining it, and you're not doing anything wrong by feeling worn down and exhausted. Because this is one of the hardest layers of dementia care, in my opinion. But if you found this useful and you want more support for moments just like this, I'm going to encourage you to check out our group, Dementia Caregivers Success and Support Network. We've got a wonderful caregiver community with caregivers just like you. And caring for someone with dementia shouldn't mean you have to fall apart alone or in silence. Let me know where you're struggling with dementia in the comments below. And until next week, I'll be caring for you while you're caring for them. See you next week.